One of you, that's for sure. Well, we've got what I guess appears to be a well set up light. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get my roll out. Now this is a tubed roll that I got a few months back, but it makes I'm suspecting it's going to make a pretty good, rather spotless substitute for the roll that we went through and it did not do us well. So let's see how this one goes. We've got what appears to be 50 coins here. 50 for sure. We are actually live, aren't we? Can anybody else see me? Is anybody out there? It shows we got 10 viewers. Well, I got Dunamac here. Okay. Dunamac's good enough. There we go. There's Farm Dog. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that you guys could actually hear me because nobody's saying anything. Okay. Coin number one. Let's go ahead and get started. Coin number one, Doug Reese. I have no idea what's in this roll, so we are going to be mutually surprised. Okay, there's a number of repunchment marks that we could be looking for in this particular roll. Never know what's going to show up, so we look for everything. And man, my light's being persnickety today. Camera's just picking that light up really weird. Part of that's usually because of background lighting, but this time it's not because of background lighting. It's just because the camera decides that it doesn't like doing live streams. But I don't care because it's a far better camera than the one I was using before. So let's see what we can try to come up with out of this roll. Today was a very unusual day. I went to the grocery store with what seemed like a rather simple list, but it was evidently longer than I thought it was because it took me almost an hour to get everything on the list, minus a couple of items. And those couple of items I was looking for, and I asked if they could check and see if we had any in stock. They went back to check to see if we had any in stock, and it took like extra time. Then I got that done. I got checked out, and I went over to the light, and the light was malfunctioning, so they had to have a policeman over to do light patrol. There's coin number two now. Coin number two is going to go to Deanne. So he was over there directing traffic. Not that there was all that much traffic in a small town, but still. If you don't direct traffic, then you're looking for problems. There's you a nice little RPM right there. There's a nice RPM. Top and bottom serif split. And we've got a little bit of a die break coming off the bottom of the 9. So this one's going to be pretty much added to the list of the remainder from 203. That 203 was the original roll reveal for this particular date and mint mark. So this will be added to the other pile of 203 so that we can try to attribute all of these, get something on them that we know, and get them into an envelope and out to you. Looking for anything on the reverse side that's going to cause need to stop and discuss, and I don't see anything right now. So I'm ready to move on. Yeah, a little thing coming off the 9 was a die crack. A cracked die. So yeah, I leave the grocery store behind thinking, oh, okay, well, here we go. It's 5:55. I don't have time to prepare for anything. I don't really have time for much of anything, but maybe I'll get home in time and I'll be able to just go up there and kind of get ready as I'm doing the broadcast. And what happens? Well, it's harvest season in North Carolina. Guess what that means? Tractors. Tractor got out in front of us on a road, and it took me a good 10 minutes longer to get home than usual because of a tractor in the road. They've been harvesting peanuts. They're already finished with tobacco. They've been finished with tobacco for a couple of weeks now. They're working on peanuts. I haven't seen anybody harvesting the soybeans yet, but the peanuts and the hops have been coming down. This is a nice earlier die state example of a 1952D Lincoln Cent, but I'm not seeing anything that actually looks like a hub double die yet. It would be nice to have something. I don't see anything though. And no repunchment mark here. Mind if you watch? Heck, I don't mind if you watch. In fact, you want to jump through the tube, you can actually participate. Alright, I'm finding nothing here on coin number 3. And go ahead and put this one in its holder and move on. In the holder you go. The one thing that I do notice about these coins is that they are exceptionally clean. They are very nice looking coins. So this roll is the final 52D roll for a while anyway. These coins are very bright, very uncirculated. Might have a few hits here and there, but they're still very nice looking coins. I'm going to zoom back a little bit so we can cover more of the coin with each passing blow. Because if we have doubling on this, we will be able to see it. So it shouldn't be that hard to deal with. Name on number 4. Name on number 4 is Wanda. Wanda. Okay, I got no doubling going on there. Now, coin number 5. Coin number 5 will go to Deanne. Got Deanne up again. Deanne's going to get all of hers blown out early. Well, it looks like we might have something worth taking a good look at. Let me zoom in on it here. Yeah. Nice split upper serif. Nice split on the upper serif. We've got concentric die scratches going through the date area on this one. Concentric meaning that they are parallel to the center, like radial from the center of the design. Also got die scratches running along the outside edge of the design, right along the rim. So that'll be an easy one to identify with others. In the event that we find others that we can identify it with, which we should in this particular case because this should be an original roll. Very nice. I think I even see what might be a hint of a south D there. Little bright line right at the very bottom of the D, and it looks like there might be a split serif down there. Well, hello, Hector. Who we got here? I haven't looked in just a little while. We've got Peter Bose. Welcome, Peter Bose. Let's see, Donna Mac, Wanda Williams, Jim Fletcher, Yo Man, Kerry Walton, Coin Dragon. It's a relatively small but very nice crowd. I appreciate all of you joining me this evening for this roll. 1952D is one of those ones that you don't generally see somebody open up and go through with the microscope for the first time, so this is a relatively scarce occurrence. Not seeing any hub doubling here on the reverse of this coin. I don't think we really have any hub doubling on the reverse that is known for 1952D. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. And that's coin number 5 to DN. Now coin number 6. Coin number 6 goes to Eric Beyer. And Eric Beyer is going to receive, well, does not appear right offhand to be an RPM. It is a partially filled mint mark, but that's not really all that unusual for 1952. Go on around and take a look at the rest of the design. Well, I tell you what, if we do have any hub doubling on this, we're really going to recognize it quickly because there is a lot of detail, sharp detail on these coins, because they are relatively early die state. Dave's not here, man. Ooh, Dave? Yeah, man. It's Dave. Let me in. Oh, Dave's not here, man. No, let me in, man. It's Dave. Oh, Dave? Yeah, man. It's Dave. Dave's not here. I used to listen to those routines with my cousin on a cassette tape player, believe it or not. It's right after we got cassette tape players back in the 80s. It was back when if you wanted a Walkman, you had to pay for it. They were not cheap. Oh, wait. Wow, look here. This one's cute. We have what looks like 3Ds going on here. It looks like we've got a low D. It's partially visible. You've got the extra serif right over here. You've got an extra serif right down here, and then you've got a split serif up here, and split upper and lower. So you've got a D over D over D, tilted and south. Very nice. Very good one for Shannon Smith here. 33 and a third. Well, I tell you what, a lot of people don't even understand what that is anymore. We got a nice little die break right in between. It's actually a die scratch. It's a large gouge right in between the 9 and the 5 of the date. So we've got something to use as a future marker for this particular die, even though I think this particular repunch mint mark is going to be pretty easy to recognize if we ever see it again, which I'm figuring we probably should. If this is an original roll, we may actually see 2 or 3 more of them, if not more than that. And get us all straightened out here. Go on around the remainder of 9 looks plump. Yeah, no, not really. I guess it kind of might look a little plump, but I don't see any other plumpness to measure up to that. Usually you would, I don't know. We might actually have something here. Take a look at the Liberty and see what I see with the Liberty. Yeah, I see this a lot on 1950 through 55. Or 50 through 54, actually. 55, they changed the master again. I don't think that's going to be anything. But we're going to save this as an RPM anyway because it's a very nice RPM. This is probably one of the better listed ones. All right, we have another RPM. There was another RPM, and I think I have forgotten to pull it out, so I'm going to look real quick through these to be sure that I'm getting all the coins that have doubling on them. No, it's not number 1. It's not number 3. I know I found at least one more. Not number 4. There's one number 5. Number 2, number 5, number 7 so far. Number 2, number 5, number 7. Eric Beyer, let's see. That is not one. Okay. So now we got coin number 8. Coin number 8 coming up will be for Robert Adams. Robert Adams. Let's see what Robert gets. That's another one of those with the slightly filled D mint mark. So we've got nothing on this particular coin because this one matches a die that we have already seen here this evening. Got nothing there. Let's flip it over and take a look at the other side. RPM with the rim scratches might be a number 16. I appreciate the heads up on that for sure. I'll write that down as soon as I get this one in its holder. Along with the movie names I should be watching tonight. Scary movies that I should be watching, courtesy of the people of the Copper Coins family. Watching The reveal of a 1959 D-roll. So number 16, you think could be the one with the scratches along the rim? Make sure I check that real quick. There we go. I've got it written down now. Thank you very much. And the next one goes to Bill Crusson, William Crusson. There are some really nice coins in this particular roll. Really nice. I mean, just really quality stuff. This one matches the first die we pulled out, the one with the die crack at the bottom of the 9. So we got the die crack at the bottom of the 9, then we got the 2 split serifs there. So here we go again. Human Centipede. I don't think I've ever heard of that. That's not like one of those cheesy B movies, is it? Because I'm not really in the mood for a cheesy B movie. I'm more into something that will, kind of like one of those mental thrillers. Something to put you on the edge of your seat. Adam Connor. I don't want blood and guts. Not a lot of blood. I don't care if there is, but it's not. It's like blood and guts doesn't make the story for me. So if all you're doing is hacking and slashing, I really just don't care. Don't really need to see it. Hey. Well, we got nothing left on this particular coin that we're going to be looking at on the obverse anyway. Let's flip it over and take a look at the reverse and see if anything happened on the reverse. Hello, Mr. McBride. Jeepers Creepers. Okay. Well, I got Jeepers Creepers on here. Now see if I can find it. See if Netflix carries it. I have a Netflix account. We also have Amazon Prime. So I can use a Fire Stick. See if I can find it on there. If I don't find it in either one of those places, I'll probably just watch a little bit of TV and go to bed. It seems that the network TV anymore has just gone downhill. I mean, there's nothing left to watch. My wife comes up to the office one evening and I'm listening to a show on YouTube and she says, well, why aren't you watching TV? I said, because there's nothing on TV worth watching right now. She says, why don't we just cancel it then? That's her big thing. She wants to cancel it. Let's just cancel it. Cancel TV. It costs a lot of money. No point in having it. You know, well, yeah, you say that until something happens and you have to be able to tune into the news to find out what happened. And you don't have it because all you have is movies. Jeepers Creepers is based on a true story. Now that's one I like. Things that are based on true stories. That helps me a lot. Helps me understand at least that it's something that could truly scare me because it's something that could actually happen in or near my life. Yeah, what I need is, okay, here's what I need. I need a service that will provide to me the evening news when I want to watch it, that will provide to me certain networks that I like to watch, which are like the Science Channel, the Discovery Channel, TLC, things like that. I don't need any of the QVC stuff. I don't need any of the sports packages. I don't need any of the music channels or any of that stuff. And I also need for it to be under $50 a month. Because I'm tired of spending $200, $250 a month to get internet and TV. And what's wrong with Spectrum, at least Spectrum in the area where I live, they have like 15, 20 channels that get repeated over 3 or 4 different times. And most of them are junk. And there's just not really much of anything to watch on TV. And you've got their Spectrum News. Their Spectrum News, their news channel, is on, I think, 5 different channels in the lineup. Why do you need one news channel to be on 5 different You need one network set up on 5 different channels. That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, basically what it is, it's filling in space where they couldn't actually get something worthwhile to show you. Now I'm wondering, why do people actually pay for this stuff? Get everything you want, including local news, except the Weather Channel. Who needs the Weather Channel? Weather Channel's worthless anyway. You get a little bit of a snowstorm and they give it a name. It's ridiculous. They're treating snowstorms like they're hurricanes. That, folks, is another RPM. There's another RPM for us to take a look at. That one's going to Mr. Patillo, Chuck Patillo. Yeah, I was done with the Weather Channel many years ago. They don't provide anything to me that I could actually use. I used to like watching the NBC Nightly News, and, well, they just went and he has a helmet on his head. They just, the NBC Nightly News just went off the deep end. And I don't mean to get political on people here, but I am not really a Trump supporter. But when I hear Trump say something and these people turn it completely around to make it sound like something completely different, I don't understand exactly what I'm watching, because it becomes not news anymore when it's somebody's fangled up opinion about something. I prefer to watch the news. I want to see the news. I want to see what actually happened. I don't want to see your opinion of what happened, and I don't care what your opinion is. I want to see the news. That's right, I miss Walter Cronkite too. That was a man who actually reported the news. And that's the way it was. Hey, we need some real people to report the news for a change. Was that one of the? That was one of the RPMs, wasn't it? Hang on, folks. Talking more than I'm doing my job here. I think I was supposed to keep that one, and I didn't. Yes, I was supposed to keep that one. That's an RPM. Okay. Back to your regularly scheduled programming. This one I don't think was. No, this one is not. So where it comes to actually getting news coverage, I don't necessarily care too much because, well, none of the news channels are actually giving us what we're supposed to have anyway. I even switched over and watched ABC, and then I watched CBS, and then I watched CNN, then I watched Fox. Not a single one of those channels can give you a straight up, this is exactly what's happening in the news. They all want to throw their opinion into everything. But in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years, I think NBC has been the very worst of all of them about it. Very, very biased news reporting. The BBC, the problem with the BBC is that they care more to give you the news about other parts of the world than about what's happening in the United States. I do care about what's happening around the world. I mean, especially if it's something that could affect me in one way or another, like the COVID surge that's happening, or that is reportedly happening in Europe right now, and the attack that happened in Paris, and the fact that France is about to go into another lockdown, and when they go into the lockdown, people won't be able to travel, so there are throngs of people, many thousands of people out on the roads in Paris right now. Total gridlock. That's an interesting looking mint mark punching right there. Hey, come down. Yeah, but even BBC America, I mean, do they actually report news that is American news? And can I get that channel? It's like, for instance, I saw it was one of the previous cable version network thingies I saw. And it had a news channel called Al Jazeera America. And I have a rather sordid past with Arabic nations and Al Jazeera. And I refuse to watch Al Jazeera's news, even if it's true. Still don't want to watch it. Let's see. Number 17 goes to Donna Mac. Hello, Jessica. Donna Mac will get this coin. This one's another one of our RPMs, I do believe. Yeah, it's an RPM. Split upper serif and a little bit of a split on the lower serif. These are going to be hard to identify, folks. I may end up needing to hold on to these a little bit longer than normal. But what I'll do is I'll just skip over them and continue working on everything else and come back to these. It is a minor split lower or split upper serif and a little bit of a split lower serif as well. Yeah, I refuse to watch an Arab network report news to me. I don't believe anything they say. I have a personal sordid history with Arab nations, so I don't want to have anything to do with that. Not that I'm particularly excited to hear a British accent while they're reporting news to me, but I can handle it. I can stand it. I prefer Americans because I'm an American, and I just like it that way. Waving in her Forrest Gump fashion. My name's Forrest Gump. Coin number 18 goes to Jim Fletcher. Let's see what Jim Fletcher ends up with here. Bam, baby. A bit of a nice RPM there. Congrats to Mr. Fletcher. There it is, nice and sharp. Let me bring it in here and focus it in a little bit. And we'll get that nice and sharp. That's the 16. Yeah. That's the same one again. It is. You're right. It's got all those little die scratches running right along the rim, all the way around. Good. I'm glad we have one of them identified. Yo, man, you can help me identify all the rest of them. I do apologize if there is anyone out there who took offense to my term of not really enjoying dealing with Arab countries, Arab nations, and Arab news reporting. It was not anything against Arab people themselves, but if you did take offense to it, my apology that you took offense, but I'm not going to apologize for what I said because it's true. I will not watch Arab Nation television because Arab Nation television lies. David Carlisle. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Looking around just trying to find us some 1952 DRPMs, double dies, anything that we can pull out and stick in our collections and say, hey, we got something nice. And I keep looking. Dave's not here, man. That's right. No, the cops are out here, man. Let me in. Coin number 20 will go to Shannon Smith. That's going to be a non-RPM. Not an RPM. Till we just can't boogie no more. Sorry, that's my Tourette's. Suddenly, songs from the 70s pop into my head for no good apparent reason at all. Hello, Justin. I'm glad I was able to get the coins to you that I've owed you for quite some time now. Nice to see you here. Very nice to see you show up. Don't be a stranger, buddy. Well, we got no RPM here, unfortunately. Nothing on that side. And we've seen this die before. I've seen that die chip on the outside edge of the right wheat. And that was for Adam Chambers. That's coin number 21. Now, coin number 22. Coin number 22 will go to Adam Connor, the other Adam, with a C last name. We've got Adam Chambers. We've got Adam Connor. And then we've got Shannon Smith. We've got Shannon McCord. How many other people with similarly confusing names want to join so that I can be a tongue twister guy and talk to so many different people, trying to keep their names straight, trying to know who's what? Talked to my wife today about auctioneering, doing auctioneer stuff. She said, those people are annoying. And I said, yeah, they're annoying, but if you do it for a profession and you're pretty good at it, you can make good money at it. And I guess I evidently have the voice for it. And she said, no, your voice isn't annoying like those auctioneers. So, about 5 minutes later, got us another good RPM here. This is one of those 16s, correct? I think so. I think so. Yeah, so it was about, hey, Shannon. I didn't see you in here earlier, if you were. About 5 minutes later, I said, hey, you got a bit of 15, looking for a bit of 16. She said, no, that's annoying. You can't do that. I said, well, wait a minute. What if it's the way I make money? What if it's my living? She said, I'd rather you just sit up there and play with coins. Well, I hate to let her in on things, but there are times I do talk like that because of coins. At least I'm not like some other people who do it very annoyingly. I mean, like, difficult to listen to annoying sometimes. I know I just got an RPM out of here and I did not put it in a special stack, so I've got to look for it again. That wasn't hard. It was the one on the top of the list. One number 23. All right, this one is not going to be an RPM. I'm very easy on the ears. Well, I like that. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. And now, a song I wrote for my mama. It's called blue suede shoes. Well, I told Mama that I might want to do it. Well, hey, Randy. And Mama said, nah, I don't think so. Oh, that's coin number 24. Coin number 24 for Shannon McCord. Coin number 24 for Shannon McCord. Ooh, that one's got a little strike through. Struck through right there on the ME. That's not coin damage. That's struck through. During the strike. No RPM on this one, though, unfortunately. That's coin number 24. Now let's look for coin number 25. Can't even read. You know, I'm like that sometimes, too. So we got Mike Birchman. Mr. Birchman, this is your coin. Well, unfortunately, Mike's coin did not show us that it likes us. You put that one back in the oven for a little while. It's not quite an RPM yet. So I guess that's probably one of my most, let's say, one of my largest reservations to actually going all the way into like auctioneer mode. So that might be annoying to some people because some of the people who do that are annoying to me. There you go. There's another one of our RPMs right there. So we got another example of an RPM. This one's going to Yo Man. Is that one of the... Is that the 16? No, that's not the 16. This one's different, isn't it? $26. Coin number 26, Bill? I do believe that's different from... No, it might be exactly the same. I don't know. I'll let Yo Man tell me. It's his coin. That's another 16? Okay. There we go. Another 16. Let's see if there's anything on here that we need to talk about. Talk about. Pop music. I cannot help that I grew up in the 80s. I am a product of the 80s. 70s and 80s, actually. I defined the years in my life by what the baseball card design was that year because I was completely ate up in baseball cards when I was a kid. Had boxes of them underneath my bed. Collected cards every year from 1975 up to about 1990. Ooh, there's another one of the nice ones right there. That's cool. Yep, for sure. So we do have an original roll. I do like the fact that we have an original roll here, and this RPM is going to go onto the list as another example of a nice RPM that we had. And Wanda gets this one. There we go. These are some pretty coins. These things are all nice and red. I mean, you know, some of them's got some spots on them here and there, but it's 1952, folks. Eric Beyer. Well, let's see what Eric Beyer comes up with out of this. And again, not an RPM. Really wondering about Eric tonight. Eric's name seems to be avoiding the best coins. And Eric would say, just my luck. Yes, Mr. Cresson, you are, and I have pulled a couple of coins for you already. This is the replacement to the 1952 D roll that we did last week. Just so you guys know for sure that if you were in on that roll, these spots are all free to you. These are all replacements. This roll is coming to you courtesy of me because I don't like giving people bad rolls. And I believe the roll that we first went through was a bad roll. There's even a couple of cleaned coins in the middle of the roll. So it was definitely not an original roll. I can understand a fingerprint here and there, but cleaned coins I don't get, no. Not original at all. All right. Taking a look through here to see what else we can come up with, if anything, out of this. Salvage some good ones out of here. 52D is one of those years where you either hit it or you don't. Well, I mean, there's a lot of, I'm going to call it dregs, kind of the lower volume stuff. But there's a really nice RPM that shows underneath the vest. It's like a completely detached D that shows up down here underneath the vest at the rim. Very, very nice. This one's not an RPM. Then there's the D over S. Some people want to claim that doesn't exist. I disagree. Completely disagree. Or was it the 51 they say doesn't exist? Either one, I still disagree with them. I like to be as optimistic as I can about these coins. There you go, Bill. Here's one for you. You are indeed in this roll. And what do we get for Bill? Unfortunately, not an RPM on this one. No RPM here. No double die either on the obverse. Let's look at the reverse and see what we have on the reverse side. And we have a rather late die state normal reverse with no doubling. So that's what that is. All right. Coin number 32 now. Coin number 32 will go to Sureg. And Sureg will pick up this. It's a large D, but it's not an RPM. We discussed last time how there's actually a large D and a small d. If you look at the opening of this D, it looks like a tall egg. Next time we look at one of the small Ds, I'll show you what we're talking about. But most of the ones that we've seen so far today have been the small D. There's a little bit of a die clash on that behind the neck. You can see part of a C of cent. You got the flaming D? Or I found it. I don't think I found. Well, I found one last time we opened a roll, I think. Coin number 33. 33 goes to Tim Morrell. Let's take a look for Tim Morrell and see what we find here. Another not an RPM. So nothing on that obverse. Let's take a look around the reverse. Got nothing going on there. So we move on to coin number 34. Coin number 34 goes to Yo Man. Another 16. Not another 16. That is the small D. So if you look at this one, You notice how you don't have quite the egg shape of the other one. It looks more like a flat-edged D on the inside. You also have an upper serif on this, whereas with the other you do not have much of an upper serif at all. Just kind of squares off on the top. Next time we see another large mint mark, I will show it to you. Nothing there. Coin number 35 goes to Tim Morrell. And this is what we have for Mr. Morrell. This is one of the nice ones here. Nice RPM. Looks like a triple D, I do believe. I'd like to find that one to find out exactly what it is, but it's a very nice one. I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this, take a better, quicker, nice look at it. Everybody gets a chance to get a good look. Now see over here, I believe we've got split serifs on the upper and lower, so that's 2 Ds. And then there's a third D represented by this little dot right here and this little curve right here, I do believe. So we've got ourselves 3 Ds going on here. Nothing else there. Let me flip it over and take a look at the reverse. Now I know by fact of we've seen this die pair before. There's not going to be any hub doubling on this side, but we are still going to take a look and see if we can find anything to talk about. Don't see anything there. Took me less time to do it than I did to say it. But we do have ourselves a nice RPM again. Now Eric Bayer. What do we have but another one of those for Eric? We got one of those nice ones there for Eric too. I'll flip it over and take a look at the reverse and see what happened on the reverse. A little bit of a die break right there. Looks like a bug sitting on the wheat. Nothing else on there. That's right, back to back. Let's see if we can do back to back to back. Nothing like a back to back to back coin experience. Especially when they're 3 different people. Now here's Ryan Havoc. Let's see if we can make one of those up for Ryan. No, sir. Unfortunately, this one does appear to be a normal 1952D with a damaged lower part of the mint mark punch. Nothing else going on in the obverse. Let's see if we have anything on the reverse here. No. Nothing, unfortunately. That's number 37. Now coin number 38 goes to Farm Dog. Farm Dog's coin number 38 shows us that it is... looks like it's going to be a minor repunch mint mark. One of the more minor listings. Get on around, take a look at the rest of the design and see if there's anything else that happened to it. Nothing on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse and see if there's anything on the reverse that we need to take a better look at. My wife listened in on my show one time. She said, "That is so boring. Who could ever want to watch that?" I said, "Anybody who has any interest in coins." She says, "You people are just nerds." I said, "Yeah, but there's a lot of us. We outnumber you." She didn't like that. She thought that was unnecessary. I thought it was unnecessary for her to call us nerds in the first place. You gonna go play with pennies again? Yes, ma'am. Oh, look at that. Nice die scratches on that. Big gouges. They're all worn down. I told her, us coin nerds, we like to run in a pack anyway, so she's not that much welcome unless she wants to become a coin nerd. She wants to become a coin nerd and start looking in on us with interest rather than looking at us with disdain. She's welcome to join in. But until then, she can just keep her opinion to herself. Shannon. McCord. We got us another one of those. Let's see. Is this one another one? No, it's not another one of the 16. This is the one that had the, okay, this one is not really an RPM. Yeah, a little damage on the punch. Fool you all the time. Hey, Mr. Pruitt. That's right. It's nice to be a geek sometimes. Coin number 41 now. Coin number 41 goes to Sureg. Sureg's coin number 41 looks exactly like this. Another one of our nice RPMs. There's another one of them right there. 3 Ds. D over D tilted with a D south. So D over D over D tilted and south. So what were those click words that we were supposed to use for auctioning? I think one of them was alligator. Alligator. And then Coin Dragon came up with onomatopoeia. Is there a die gouge to the right of the T? Which T, Jim? The T of cent? The T, one of the T's of trust? There's 2 T's in trust. There's a T in liberty. Which T, my brother? I'll go look it up. Because I got one of them sitting right in front of me right now. Die gouge to the right of the T. Well, which T would that be? There's it looks like a small die gouge going from the top right of the T up to the rim. T minus 2 days to getting all your goodies. 2 days until you leave the snow and go back home. No gouge next to the T in liberty that I can see. Nor the first T of trust. Of cent. Okay. Well, let's take a look at the T of cent again. And see what we're supposed to be seeing. There's a gouge to the right of it. Let me flip it around and take a look at it with better light. I don't see anything out there, my brother. There's a die scratch going northeast from the upper part of the T to the wheat lines on the right side there. Thomasville, North Carolina, that's, it's a couple hours west of here. I'm actually about an hour drive from the coast here. Thomasville is actually as you're starting to get into the foothills, working your way up into the up into the mountains. All right, Shannon McCord. Shannon McCord comes up next. What does Shannon McCord get? Yeah. Better than a sharp stick in the eye. It gets a pretty decent looking 1952 D, but it doesn't happen to have an RPM or anything like that on it. I'd say better than a sharp stick in the eye. All right. That's Shannon's coin. Now we got coin number 43 coming up. Coin number 43. Dun, 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 dun. We'll go to Chuck Patillo. Mr. Patillo. Little minor RPM, it appears. Looks like Mr. Patillo got us a minor RPM. The Chuck from further south. I did get your email today, Chuck, and I have not yet responded to it, but I will shortly. You're probably missing coins because I did keep back a number of coins from our more recent roll reveals. I sent you all of the stuff that was the normal stuff. That's going to happen pretty much all the time, folks. If you get into a roll reveal with me and you get a bunch of coins back from a reveal and you had 3 coins but you only got 2 back, that's a good sign. That means I've got one of your coins here and I'm still working on it. I want to get everything to you as quickly as I can. I'm not going to hold back a whole bunch of stuff just for a few coins. So I'm going to ship everybody their coins, and then the ones I have to keep here to look at further, those are the ones you're going to be missing in your shipment. They'll come to you later. Here's Dynamac. Dynamac coin number 44. 44 is a minor double split repunch mint mark. Congratulations to Miss Donna. Donna gets herself a nice little repunch mint mark. That's the one with the helmet on the head. See, I'm finding out all these little markers and things. I mean, when I go back through this roll, I'm going to remember all of this stuff, and I'm going to pick out more of them, I'm sure, ones that I might have missed on my first pass through. Nothing huge to talk about on the reverse of this one. Let's move on to the next coin in the roll. Next coin in the roll will be number 45. Number 45 will go to Mr. Havoc. Ryan Havoc. You know, not an RPM on this one. Sad state of affairs. A little bit of bad luck. Still got a decent looking 1952 D-Lincoln cent. 1952. A very unusual year on Lincoln cents, in that the 2-digit is a 1-year type, is only used for that 1 year. The 5-digit is a 1-year type. It was only used in that 1 year. So 1951 and 1953 both had longer 5s. 1952 is the only one that kind of stabs down in a straight line and comes to a sharp point like it does. Here's coin number 46 for you, Mike Birchman. Their reasoning for using different digits and different digit font styles and things like that have as much to do with attempting to help save die life as it does just ordering punches from someplace else that had a different font. So I don't think there's anything highly scientific about why 1952 uses that sharp pointed 2 or sharp pointed 5 and no other year on Lincoln cents does. Coin number 47 now. Bill Crescent. Let's see what Bill gets. And it's like not a diver ready. Not a diver ready, unfortunately. '52 is just kind of a tough year all around because 1952 Philadelphia Lincoln cents can be a little difficult to obtain. There is one known, pretty nice looking double die obverse on 1952 plain. 1952 D is by far the heaviest loaded down with die varieties, but you also have a problem with the 1952D broken Denver mint mark punch that causes a whole lot of confusion among people. But it's really, really shy on double dies. Chances of finding a double die in 1952D or S is pretty much nil. Not much out there at all. Wade Reynolds, do you have any in this lot? I don't think you do. Unless you paid for the 1952D roll last week. This is a replacement roll for the 1952D roll we did last week. That was not a very good roll, so we're using these to replace those so that you can actually get your money's worth out of this deal. And coin number 49 now, Paul Hampton. Check and see what Paul Hampton is going to get. Looks like a normal one to me. A number of RPMs in this roll. I'd say almost, probably a third of the rolls are all RPMs. Which, that's a good thing. Like that idea. Let's see here. All right. And no more excitement there. Let's take a look at coin number 50. It's going to be Yo Man. That's, oddly enough, Yo Man happens to be the last customer in alphabetical order, and he's also the last one in this roll. Those two have nothing to do with one another, though. This was at the end of the roll, which is why it has a little bit of a scuffing mark on it. Why it's a little bit darker in red color with just a little bit of brown in a few spots, because this side was facing out and this was the side facing in, so this is in a little bit better condition than the side facing out. I got nothing else going on with this coin, though. Nothing going on here. So here's what we end up with. We have a rather healthy stack of normal coins. Here's our rather healthy stack of normal coins, and some of these indeed are going to end up being die varieties because I missed them the first time around. I'm just going to let you know that I'm human. And for our die varieties, we've got coins numbered. Let me get this in the camera. There we go. We got coins numbered 44, 43, 41, 36, 35, 27, 23, 18, 17, 13, 9, 7, 5, and 2. Those coins belong to Deanne, Shannon S., Bill, Chuck Daughtrey, Jim Fletcher, Sureg, Wanda, Tim Morrell, Eric Beyer, Sureg, Chuck, and Donomac. A lot of repeat people. So, folks, that's it. That's what I've got this time around. That's the 1952D replacement roll, 203R. And I think we did pretty well this time around. I'm glad we did because we were running into a bit of a dry spell. So, I have moved the roll that I was going to do later this evening on to Sunday. So, it's coming up Sunday afternoon. That's reveal number 206. It's a 47D roll. So then tomorrow morning or tomorrow around noon, you guys can join me for the 1970S roll. We've got a 70S roll, number 207. We've got a 55 Philadelphia roll coming up tomorrow. That's number 208. And then we've got a 45 Philadelphia plastic tube roll. It's number 209. That'll be coming up tomorrow. Next week, we have a 1954S, a 1953D, a 1951D, and a 1960D bank wrapped roll. I think those are the 4 that we have for next week. So we've got a pretty tight schedule planned out. I hope you guys will be able to join me, and we'll have a great time with it. Until then, folks, I'm going to go ahead and wish you peace and love to everyone, and have a great evening, a great Halloween tomorrow. Some of you I'll see tomorrow, and some of you I may not. So have a good time with it. I'll talk to you later, folks.